Hello everyone! This week I am coming to you from Creekbed Country Pharmacy, and this weekend, August 1st, they have their Sunflower Festival here from noon to 8. So you can come and you can walk in the sunflowers and you can even take a sunflower home, and there'll be vendors and food and lots of fun here in Poynette. Creekbed Country Pharmacy is very important to our library and all of South Central Library System because every year they donate passes to their corn maze as part of our summer reading program. So if you are part of the summer reading program and you meet all your goals, come on into the library and you can get a pass to come to their corn maze for free and check it out this fall. All right, but today we're just talking about those beautiful sunflowers. And so I'm going to read a story called The Missing Sunflowers by Maggie Stern. Simon wanted one thing, a garden of sunflowers, huge sunflowers that would tower above his head. "It's too much work," said his mother. "You won't take care of it." "Oh, but I will," Simon said. "I'll do everything." "Gardens are for girls," said his younger brother Jack. "I want one," said Simon. It was summer vacation and Mrs. Potter, who lived next door, had to go away for a few days. Simon called her the bird lady because she had 8 bird feeders hanging on the trees around her tiny pond. "Simon, dearie," she said, "can I impose on you to feed the birds and carry in my mail?" "Sure," said Simon. "And, oh," added Mrs. Potter, "make sure the squirrels don't snitch all the bird seed." The next evening, Simon found a large brown paper bag on the front step. A note said, "Dear Simon, these are for feeding the birds. Thank you, affectionately, Hope Potter." Simon took 3 plants out of a bag. They had large round heads with long yellow petals. "Sunflowers!" he bellowed. Simon planted the sunflowers right in the front yard. The largest, the one in the center, bobbed its head. He stroked the soft petals. "They look like lions," Jack said. "I want one." "Come see what I've done," Simon shouted as Mrs. Potter stepped out of her car 4 days later. "You certainly have a green thumb, dearie," Mrs. Potter smiled. Simon looked down at his thumb. "It's just an expression," said Mrs. Potter. "It means you have good luck with plants." A few weeks later, Simon began day camp. Early that morning, he sat in the yard pulling out weeds. "Go away," he flicked a beetle off one stem. "Don't touch my plant." Seeds were beginning to form near the petals of the sunflowers. The bus driver honked his horn. After camp, Simon was first off the bus. He ran to his garden. The tallest sunflower was gone, slashed off right under its yellow head. Gone. The heads of the other 2 flowers drooped toward the ground. "Somebody cut my flowers!" screamed Simon. Jack and his mother came running from inside. "Why, it's outright murder," declared his mother. "Who would do such a thing?" Simon kept a lookout. "I never imagined something like this would happen," Mrs. Potter said. "Not in this town." When the mail carrier dropped off the mail as usual, Simon carefully eyed his satchel, just the right size to hold a large flower. The next day, Simon kept his fingers crossed. As he had hopped off the camp bus, the 2 sunflowers seemed to nod their heads in greeting. He stood in between them. "You still got a ways to grow to catch up to me." "How about going out for ice cream?" suggested Simon's mother one August afternoon. When they reached home, Simon dropped his cone on the brick walkway. "Not again!" he cried. He raced to the corner, searching up and down the street. "Mom, there's another missing sunflower!" yelled Jack. A girl on a blue bicycle whizzed by. Something flashed in her basket on the handlebars. "I'll find out who did this," Simon said. Mrs. Potter came over the next morning. "Dearie," she said, "would you be interested in a job? I need regular help cleaning the feeders." Simon nodded. In 1 week, Simon scrubbed all 8 feeders. The sunflowers shimmied as he dashed back and forth between the 2 houses. He stood on tiptoes and ran his fingers across the rough seats. On the last Saturday in August, Mrs. Potter was in her yard. "Come, see the red-winged blackbird," she called to Simon. "I see one," shouted Simon. He pointed across the pond. "What's that yellow bird over there?" "That's a finch," said Mrs. Potter. She pulled a book and a pair of binoculars from her knapsack. "Here, dearie," she said, "see how many kinds of birds you can find. The book is yours, and I'll lend you the binoculars for the rest of summer." She hung them around his neck. Simon sat on his steps, bird watching all the next morning. A deep red bird landed on a branch. A worm dangled from its beak. He dashed inside and found the bird book. No, that's not it. No, yes, that's it. A cardinal. He ran back outside, book and binoculars in hand. The last sunflower had vanished. Simon stayed in bed all Monday. Near dinner time, Mrs. Potter knocked on his door. Do you want the binoculars back? Heavens no, said Mrs. Potter. I want you to get out of bed and see the blue heron in my pond. Simon didn't move. Dearie, terrible things happen in life, but that doesn't mean you can stay in bed forever. Otherwise, we'd all be there. Now get up and come see the bird. Slowly, Simon followed Mrs. Potter into her backyard. The heron was gone. Snooze you lose, she laughed. That's when Simon spotted a trail of yellow petals at his feet. On hands and knees, he followed it across the lawn. As he reached the maple tree in the corner of Mrs. Potter's yard, his hand came down on something large, brown, and crumbly. It was the mangled head of a sunflower. Somebody wrecked it, Simon wailed. Simon flung himself onto the lawn. He felt something hit his forehead. He wiped away his tears and peered toward the upper branches of the tree. He saw a gray, fuzzy tail. Falling to the earth below was a shower of crumbs. He knew those crumbs. They were the shells of his sunflower seeds. Mrs. Potter, he said, jumping to his feet. I found the thief. Mrs. Potter's eyes followed Simon's finger. In silence, he stared up into the tree. Dearie, it's the way of nature. Mrs. Potter put her arm around him. Squirrels have scissor-sharp teeth. It's how they survive. I hate that squirrel, Simon cried. How dare he kill my sunflower? Perhaps the squirrel thought it was his sunflower, said Mrs. Potter. She stood up. Sometimes the most precious things are the ones we can't keep. At supper, Simon's father roared with laughter. I'm relieved, said his mother. Through the dining room window, the sky was turning crimson. There were 2 blue jays on one of Mrs. Potter's bird feeders. Simon sighed. The following morning, Mrs. Potter dropped by. I have a little something for you. Inside the bag was a package of sunflower seeds. Now you can plant these next spring, she said. And you, dearie, I read in my gardening book that a dash of red pepper will keep the squirrels away. That afternoon, Simon gazed out his window. The stalks below were still. There, at the tip of one cut-off stem, a new bud had sprouted. Simon smiled. He looked toward Mrs. Potter's yard. Resting in her pond was a large bird with a long neck. A blue heron, he said in a whisper. He watched as the great bird slowly spread its wings and took flight. Simon took a few sunflower seeds from his bag that Mrs. Potter had given him. He opened his window, and one by one, he placed the seeds on the outer ledge. For the heron, he said, or for any bird. He would give Jack the budding sunflower. Simon picked up the bag of seeds and went into the kitchen. He found a jar of red pepper on the spice rack. Standing on a stool, he stood on the jar and the seeds on the top shelf of the cupboard. He was set. Simon ran into his yard, binoculars thumping against his chest. Spring was a long time away, but right now the birds were calling. I hope you enjoyed our story this week, and I hope you can make it out to Creekbed Country Pharmacy here in Poynette on Saturday to check out the beautiful sunflowers here at the Sunflower Festival. We'll see you next week.